Okay, I've been digging deep into the herb world, and I thought it would be fun to highlight an herb like once a week. So I thought, what better not to do wormwood, because that's what I've been taking prophylactically. And I realized that when Brent was sick, first I saw the power of natural medicine firsthand. And then I also realized that even though I was, so prepared and like ready to hit the protocol with Brent, I went through the supplements quite fast. And then when I went to the natural grocer to replenish some of my supplies, a lot of the things were out because word's getting out with these protocols and stuff, and people are buying stuff up. So I couldn't find extra quercetin, and sometimes you can't wait 2 or 3 days for Amazon. So be prepared, be ready, have everything that you need. Make a medicinal medicine cabinet, have all of your tinctures, because a lot of these things, like the NAC, they stopped selling. So you want to make sure you're prepared. That's what I learned. Also with food, I like to keep 6 to 9 months of food. So my pantry, which I did a pantry little tour a couple weeks ago, I showed you all the beans and rice I have, all my flour, all my grains to grind, to make flour for bread. Probably have about 6 months worth of food. I just do that always because you never know what's gonna happen. So it could be a natural disaster, it could be food shortages, supply chain issues. I like being prepared. So I also started digging into foraging, going out into the wild, finding herbs, finding plants, and turning them into tinctures, etc. So let's go back and talk about wormwood. So the Germans called wormwood makes everything good. That's what they used to say because they used it for so many natural ailments. It comes from the daisy flower, the sunflower, and also comes from the arnica family. If you've ever used arnica for bruising or anything, you know how good that works. So wormwood has so many good things that it can do. The number one thing that it's used for is as an anti-parasitic for deworming. If you go and buy like a anti-parasitic tincture, it's usually like, black walnut hull and wormwood, and it's used for deworming. Well, wormwood also can reduce a fever. It can help with gastrointestinal issues. It can help with constipation, gas, bloating. It can help during your cycle for women. It has a lot of great benefits. So it is antimicrobial, it is antiviral, antifungal, and it can help combat a lot of issues, especially if you have candida in your body. It can help reduce that drastically, which I learned along with the anti-parasitic use, It can even help with a UTI, which I found out because I had a really bad UTI and I started researching. I'm like, what do you know? Wormwood's in it, which I thought was incredible. I know these are bad. There's natural flavors in it. I actually bought a soda stream so I can just make carbonated water. Do as I say, not as I do. Anyways, back to it. So wormwood comes in 3 forms. You can buy it dry loose leaf. So that would be like having it in tea. You would make your own tea with it and add like a little honey or stevia. You can buy it in capsule form, which is the dried ground herb, and that's in capsule form. And then you can buy it in tincture form. I prefer tincture because its shelf life is basically indefinite. And with tinctures, they come in 2 forms. There's an alcohol base, which they usually use vodka or brandy. And then there's a vegetable glycerin base, which is like, glycerin based. A lot of people like to do the glycerin based if they have kids because they don't want to give their kids booze. So, I never told you this story. This is really funny. So there used to be this bee spray. It was like called Bach or something. You've probably seen it. It was like a little yellow logo and it said Box. Well, they had this calming spray and you could like give it to, I didn't know you couldn't give it to your kid, but you could spray it and it would be like have this natural calming effect. Anyways, I was going on a flight. Cole was about 2.5 and Jet was a newborn. And we called it Yo Gabba Gabba spray, if you remember that show. So I used to be like, hey Cole, let me put a couple squirts of the Yo Gabba Gabba spray and you're gonna be a good boy. I was thinking like I was doing a good thing. So I'd give him a couple squirts, sometimes 10 before the flight. Anyways, it ended up being like 89% grain alcohol, and it was like I gave him a shot of Jack Daniels and he was like jumping from seat to seat, not on the airplane, but before. He was actually really good on the plane, but anyways, so maybe you should stick to vegetable glycerin for kids. Anyway, so I just wanted to go over the wormwood and all the amazing benefits. If you're out shopping for wormwood, it can also be called sweet Annie, sweet wormwood, or artemisia. Those are all the names it's labeled under. So I hope that helps. So go out and forage, or make sure your medicinal medicine cabinet is all stocked up. Have a good weekend.